All right, well, Tucker's here. I'm here. Emily is just back with the group over at the Tim Hortons there, figuring out where the initial takeoff point is going to be today and which direction we're going to be going, so that way we're going to be ready to roll when the group pulls out. Let's get out on the road. First quick stop of the day is at this grain elevator in Kirkpatrick. There's a group that offers trail rides that stages out of this area, so they're just bringing their horses in here for the day. Okay, just west of Drumheller now and heading down into the valley here. We're going to follow this gravel road down to Hesketh, Alberta. Hesketh can trace its origin to 1921 when the Canadian Pacific Railway established a station here. The landscape here is just so different from the prairies that surround this area. Down in the valley again here, out in Hesketh, Alberta, and stopped here, took a group photo on the bridge. Now out checking, see what else we can find around here. Actually been in the school before. It's never been open when I've been here. Wow. Yeah. I was just saying, I've never been in here. It's always been closed up solid. Oh, I love those curtains. Very, very retro. Now, not normally, I would never bring my camera into the girls' washroom, but I'm thinking in these circumstances that I will probably be forgiven for doing so. Alright, so that's Hesketh. Had a chance to meet a couple of the locals. They all seem to be pretty decent and understanding about our group coming through town and whatnot, so get ready and off to the next place. Alright, so we are now out at Sharples, Alberta. There's not really much here. There's a gas plant that's still active, but really the highlight here is the grain elevator, which you can kind of see over my shoulder there. We are visiting this location with permission of the landowner. It's normally posted no trespassing, so there's no issues with that here. We have permission to explore this area, so come and let's go check it out. I'm just heading down towards where the rail bed originally ran here. The tracks are, of course, long gone. But this is the same rail line that would have come from Hesketh, where we just were, and run through this beautiful valley and to Sharples, Carbon, and then beyond. So Sharples is one of my favorite grain elevators in Alberta, right up there with Esther. Been here all times of the day and night, summer, winter, fall. I've just can't get enough of this place. It's just absolutely gorgeous. It's a beautiful elevator. It's in rougher shape every time I see it, but that's to be expected. I'm just walking along the old rail line here towards the elevator. As Jim Pearson there noted a bit earlier, this one is somewhat unique in that the rail line is quite a bit lower, I believe he said about 8 feet, than the actual elevator itself. This is a side of the elevator I don't see very often, because as noted, most times we are just passing by and look at it and photograph it from the road. This time, given that we do have permission, it's okay for us to kind of wander onto the land here and take a little more in-depth exploration than normal. So you can see the annex here to the left of the elevator. Originally there was another one over here on the right side. You can still see the spout hanging down from it. The annex is long gone. We're not really sure when it disappeared, but that was very typical of these elevators, that when the capacity wasn't there in the main elevator, they would just add an annex to increase the amount of storage. Alright, let's poke our head inside here. If I can fit.
Jason found a certification from 1981.
Oh, wow. The roof of the driveway here is in pretty rough shape. Most of it's missing on the west side. It's you never win the battle against trespassers and vandals, unfortunately.
No. Not allow nature.
Yeah.
No.
Unfortunately, the vandals just speed up what nature was already doing.
No,
Nobody up there? Nope. Inside the office.
There's not much in there.
No. Oh wow. The stairs are... Well, stairs is a bit of a misnomer. There used to be here. They're long gone now. So the elevator office has been pretty much cleaned out. Not much. Lots of tiles, undoubtedly filled with asbestos. Don't
this one?
Yeah.
Don't breathe in too deep.
What's the reason why they have asbestos in that?
Go over and check out the old livery stable now.
Careful! Watch for holes in it. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm cute.
Alright. Stick your head forward. There you go. If you're in the shade.
I'm scared. With the flat.
I don't think I've ever been inside the barn.
We could put all these together and make one good motorcycle.
Oh, wow. I've shot lots of pictures of it from the outside.
This barn is unique. It was the barn for the horse team. It was a barn to lay your team over while you delivered grain.
Yeah, you can see the stalls are still in there.
It was actually built before the elevator.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, that is a rarity, isn't it?
Huh.
You don't hear, or certainly don't see that anymore. Welcome to the village of Carbon, where apparently, at least at one point, you could see moving pictures every Saturday night. This was probably quite the classic service station in its day.
I imagine, yeah. Still has the neat signpost.
The sky and the church, it's beautiful. No cross now. More children playing.
What was your elevation in Spain?
So closed in 2000, so really, relatively speaking, for a lot of the stuff, not that long ago.
You got the look over time? Considering that every Catholic church in Spain was so elaborately decorated and adorned, yeah, it's so simple.
So you know you are in small town Alberta when you can walk straight down the middle of Main Street at nearly noon and not have to worry about a car coming at you. Quite well known now for being home to a fairly famous dinner theater and a community of artisans, we're in Rosebud, Alberta next. I'm going to check out down here. It looks like some sort of a windmill or something. We're not really sure at this point.
Oh, yeah. No, 1978, Impossible Dream.
All right, so mystery solved. That is the windmill from Dead Man's Flats, the motel that was recently moved.
Dan did too, right?
Yeah, it looks...
Recognizable.
Oh, I'm so glad.
That's probably about it from Rosebud. There's certainly a lot more to see and do here than what I had time to show you, but it gives you a little sneak preview of what there is to see out here.
No railway, did you probably get much out of it?
Much liver.
The parsonage was built in 1954.
Too much.
Okay, just to set the stage for our next stop, which is going to be Chancellor, Alberta. While we were there taking pictures, the landowner invited us to come onto his property and get a closer look at the old community hall. Apparently it was originally the grocery store for the community. So that's where the story picks up, is he's giving us a little bit of history of the building and the area. Oh, okay.
And that burned to the ground. So what they did is they swapped uses. And then they made this the Memorial Hall and put the store somewhere else.
Okay.
Because it was the bigger of the buildings, you know, that was left there.
Got
And then the building would have just collapsed.
Yeah. Is it structurally fairly sound?
Structurally sound, yeah. Yeah, we're construction engineers. So.
Oh, okay, so this is like your...
Well, no, I'm
comfort.
retired, so I got nothing to do. My wife tells me I have to restore buildings. So.
Welcome to Hussar, or Hussar, or Hussar. Something special. This is a cool old motorhome. I can't really see any markings on it or anything, but maybe somebody will be able to tell me more about the manufacturer. Maybe it's an old Dodge? I'm not sure.
RESP Dragon.
Yeah, huh? It's a great truck. Group has found some old trucks in the backyard here.
In the backyard, and again, lots of parts.
Are you from this area? I'm actually from Prince Rupert, BC. I've been here up in Alberta for 11 years.
Oh.
So, settled in the area? Yeah, we have a house in Warren and a house here. My guy works in Calgary a lot, so this is close to Calgary. I work in Drumheller and Warren is close to Drumheller.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Has their own little, this is considered the Brown's house.
Oh, yeah.
They haven't lived here for 40 years, but it's still considered the Brown's house. So, we just had a bunch of
postmaster from probably the teens, 20s.
Oh.
He lived in there. They built on it. So one side, he had he lived on one side, and then the other side there was still a mound of coal
Oh my goodness.
that they used to heat. So
Oh, wow.
What a life.
it's yeah, it's interesting.
So you'd never know from looking at it that it's got such a historical tie for the community.
Yeah, but a lot of people, they don't know, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's been thrown together.
Or they know and they don't care, which is worse.
Right, so this is the Anglican church that the lady told us about. It's sitting unused.
The dog, yeah, there. Yeah,
I see
Tucker,
Emily.
Tucker.
Almost a Kayla.
Oh, there, that's so cool. Yeah.
The dog doesn't mind,
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Do I have to get up now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get the tripod. I get the tripod then. Okay. The last one.
Last one.
Last one. Okay, 1, 2. Look, the camera.
Look at the camera, Kayla.
Cheese. Cheese. Cheese.